Sorry, just gotta loosen up a bit. Get it? Get it? Hey, I'm Justin, and today I have a huge pimple on my face. Maybe I could just do the whole video like this. Or I could just like cover my mouth the whole time. Just try not to look at it, okay? It's not my fault, it's a natural face thing, Anyways, we're not talking about pimples today, we're talking about vaginas. Because there's this shitty myth out there that you get like loose after you have sex, and it's just a lie. It's a blatant lie. It's like when commercials try to convince you that diet soda tastes like real soda, and then you actually get some and you're like, Anyways, this video is a part of a series for everyday feminism, a website dedicated to helping you stand up to and break down oppression. For example, pretend this frisbee is the oppression. Broken down. But they're a fantastic website. I love like everything that they post, and you should totally go visit them. I'll put a link down below so you can go to the website. So yeah. Vaginas. So here's the myth. Vaginas get permanently looser after having sex. Reason number one, you should not believe this myth. It comes from our like antiquated ideas of female sexuality that say like after you've had sex, you're just worthless. It's where we get terms like slut and whore and hoe that like put women down for having sex. Looseness is just another way of putting women down. It's trying to say that like they're somehow broken after having sex. But like we know that's not true. Like you can have sex and it doesn't make you a bad person. It's not like tied to your morals. I mean, you can be a bad person and have a lot of sex, but like they're not related. You could also be like the best person in the world and like have all the sex in the world. They're not connected. Number two, it's tied to also really old ideas about virginity and losing your virginity and how that somehow marks your transition from like innocent and pure to like dirty. Virginity used to be like a commodity. Like women were valued when they had virginity, and once they lost it, they were like worth less. And that's because they were thought of as objects. But like today, I think you and I can agree, women aren't objects. People. So like saying that their virginity holds some worth about them as a person is just not okay. And this idea of looseness comes from that. Like you've somehow broken the innocent pureness and now it's like a had sex vagina of evil death. But none of that is true. The line of virginity doesn't matter. And it's also very like heteronormative. Like what if lesbians are having sex all the time? Did they lose their virginity? The answer is you're asking the wrong question because people have all kinds of sex and it doesn't always look like penis and vagina sex. So you don't lose your virginity. You just start having sex. That's it. Number three, it's like quite literally just wrong. Like it's just factually incorrect. Yes, there have been scientific studies done on the looseness of vaginas. I know like half of you out there right now are like, how do I become a vagina looseness tester? But anyway, so there were studies done on like if women became looser after having a lot of sex, and guess what they found? You don't. The vagina just snaps back into place like normal, like how muscles work. Like you stretch it and it goes back into place. That's just how your body works. If you're still not getting it, here's an example that like should convince you. You've got an asshole, right? So your asshole's like this, and when you shit, even if it's a giant shit, it expands, and then it closes again. And no matter how many giant shits that you take, it's gonna keep closing again to that closed position. It's not like eventually you just get to a point where you've let out so many huge shits that your butthole just isn't gonna like go back to normal. Your butthole is fine and it's gonna stay shut because that's how the muscle works. And it's the same thing with vaginas. They stretch out and then they go back to the size. Like, that's literally what they're designed to do. So don't worry about it. Your asshole and your vagina are fine. They're gonna go back to the right size. Just don't worry about it. Number four, all vaginas are different. Like way different in a lot of aspects, but particularly in the like tight versus loose thing. Not one of those is like the correct vagina tightness. That's just how vaginas are. Deal with it. Some people are tall and some people are short and some people have big penises, some people have small penises. That's life. Number five. So here's the thing. Vaginas are supposed to get like looser when you're aroused and when you're turned on because they're like allowing for the entry. So if your partner is really tight, maybe they're not like quite aroused enough or like they're not really into it. And you should work on that. And like you should have a little bit more foreplay and ask what they like and communicate. But again, it's not a bad thing if you have a tight vagina. It's just that most vaginas tend to get looser as you get aroused so that you can like put stuff in there. But the most important thing here is communication. As long as you're talking with your partner, making sure that you're comfortable and aroused and all of that stuff, everything should be okay. Reason number six. So here's the thing, trans women who have had surgery also have vaginas, but those vaginas operate a little bit differently. For one, they require dilation, which means that you have to like put a device in you to keep it stretched out or else it'll close back up again. And so for trans women, having sex is like an imperfect semi-substitute for dilation. It's not a complete substitute, but it can definitely help with the dilation process. So in the case of trans women, you actually want to be having more sex or masturbating with things that can keep your vagina a little bit looser. So when you talk about vaginas and you're all worried about them getting loose and stuff, think about the trans women who are worried about their vaginas just getting tighter. And yes, trans vaginas are vaginas. They count. I promise you. And finally, I just want to leave you with a little bit of advice. So maybe you watch this and you're like, okay, Justin, I believe you, but like, the hell am I gonna do about it? Well, I'll tell you what you can do about it. Like the next time someone makes a comment about it, like, oh, my girlfriend's just like too loose, like it doesn't feel good, blah, blah, blah. Just to explain to him that like, vaginas don't actually get looser from having a lot of sex, and that's just how she is, and he's gonna have to deal with that. Even things that you mean as a compliment, like saying that someone has a really tight vagina, perpetuate this same myth. So just work to avoid it in your own language. Just don't say that women are like used up or looser. Don't make that fucking hot dog in the hallway joke. And maybe you think she's loose, it's just because you got a tiny dick. I don't know. know. As fun as it's been yelling at my camera about vaginas for a while, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you like, you can give this video a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to see more of me every Sunday, like every Sunday. Even the ones that come before Monday and after Saturday. And don't forget to check out Everyday Feminism. They're such an awesome website. And if you've got any questions about feminism or sex or anything like that, leave them in the comments and maybe I can make a video about it next time. All right, thank you so much. I love you. Bye.